have chosen to talk to my fellow second grade teachers about critical thinking activities that they could do with our second graders. I found this cartoon very appropriate for how teachers feel about critical thinking. Just go to www.criticalthinking.com and click on Answers. As I walked through my hallways this week, I asked several teachers, what is critical thinking? Most of them could not give me an answer. According to dictionary.com's 21st century lexicon, critical thinking is a noun defined as the mental process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, synthesizing, and evaluating information to reach an answer or conclusion. I have chosen to talk about these 6 critical thinking strategies: predicting, visualizing, questioning, summarizing, inferring, and synthesizing. Predicting means making a guess about what will happen next. Without predicting, there can be no comprehension. Students need to be able to predict with every content area. This allows them to predict what the outcome of any action will be. In this activity, students will predict the plot outcome of a narrative text. They will need paper, pencils, and a list of vocabulary words from the chosen narrative text. Have students categorize the chosen vocabulary words into the following narrative elements: setting, character, problem, solution, and unknown words to discover. This could be completed whole group. Have students write a prediction about the plot of the story on paper using as many vocabulary words as possible. Read the story and have students compare their predictions to the actual story. Then ask students to modify their predictions. Visualizing is creating mental images that belong to the student alone. This will allow each student to clarify and make meaning from text. In this activity, students will show visualization by drawing pictures to go along with important events from a story. They will need a film strip graphic organizer, pencils, and a fiction story that allows students to create mental pictures. Hand each student a film strip organizer similar to the picture shown. I just took a picture of the one that I had found because it wouldn't allow me to import it into my presentation. So this is just a little snippet of what you would see on a film strip organizer. They will also need a pencil. Tell the students the title of the story, but do not show the cover of the story. Have the students write the title of the story. Explain they will be listening to the story and drawing a picture of what they believe is important. They don't need to be elaborate, perfect pictures. Begin reading the story slowly enough to allow students to draw pictures. Allow a little time for students to finish, and then they may share what they thought was important. If students choose, you may go back and read the story after showing their pictures. Questioning has students generate their own questions instead of teacher-generated questions. This allows students to be more engaged with the text. Through questioning, students will monitor their own comprehension and have a continued focus while reading. For this activity, students will begin to generate questions to help monitor their comprehension of a text. You will need a text of choice, paper, pencil, and sticky notes. Have students clear everything away from their desk except for a pencil, notebook, and sticky notes. Tell students they will be writing questions as they are being read to. The questions will fall into 3 categories: questions answered quickly, questions eventually answered, and questions that are never answered in the book. They will write their questions on sticky notes. Show the cover of the book and read the title. Ask students to write questions they may have about the book. The teacher also needs to model writing questions he or she may have on the board. The students will share their questions for the rest of the class before going on in the story. Read the story to the students while stopping to ask questions after each page. The students need this time to write questions on their sticky notes and stick them in their notebook. The teacher will also continue to write questions on the board. As students find the answer to a question, the students will remove that question from their notebook, thus giving them the physical sign that they are moving on in their reading. This strategy is worked on during class with the teacher for a while before trying it independently. Even once students can do it independently, the teacher continues to model during shared reading. Summarizing is taking text and summing it up in a sentence or short paragraph. This helps students better understand what they read. In this activity, students will summarize a story based on their visualizations of a given story. You will need the film strip organizer that I showed you earlier, paper, pencil, and a text of your choice. Complete the visualization activity given earlier. Once students have completed the film strip organizer, ask them to write 3 to 5 sentences about the pictures they drew. If students have no previous experience with summarizing, then walk them through the process. Inferring is the ability to connect what is read with what is in the mind, allowing the student to make an educated guess. Students will make inferences using newspaper cartoons. They will need newspaper comic strips. Show the students a picture of the comic book cover. Tell them about this picture, or tell them what about this picture made you laugh. Tell them that understanding more than what is written is called inferences. Encourage them to bring their own comic strips from home to share what made them laugh. Synthesizing is when new information combines with already known knowledge to create a new idea. It is kind of like a puzzle, when all the separate pieces combine to make a brand new picture. In this activity, students will synthesize what is read to help comprehend text. They will need a synthesis organizer, pencil, and expository text. Introduce the text and hand out the synthesis organizer. This is just a little snippet of what the organizer looks like. The organizer is, of course, a full page. Students will write down what they know. They'll write down new knowledge they learned from the story and what they synthesized from the story.
Mom.
Ask questions such as, what do you know that will help you understand the text? What do you already know about the topic? And what comes to mind when you think about the topic? What connections can you make with the topic? Model writing student responses on the board. Read the story while pausing when you come across new information to record it on the graph. Encourage students to share new information. Model how combining the new information with what is already known can change your thinking and create new ideas. Record the new ideas under synthesis. Encourage students to share how their thinking has changed and write their responses. In conclusion, by modeling critical thinking skills and encouraging students to do their own critical thinking, we can push comprehension to a whole new level. We will also begin seeing students create and invent new ideas. I think it's important at this point to point out that all of this has to be modeled before you can just have the students do it.
Mama.
The following are the references I used for my presentation. Thank you.